What's up guys, it's Dragon Ball for Life here. Today I'm going to be having a little short video. This video I want to talk specifically about what direction is the Dragon Ball franchise going in. Now, I think it was like a couple of days ago I watched Geekdom 101's channel, and on his channel he was talking about the the new Dragon Ball movie and how there's mentions of maybe the show coming back soon. And he said something about he heard about this news a year prior, and he's been holding off on it for a while now from a credible source, which, to be honest, I can see why he did that, but it is kind of annoying. As you know, Dragon Ball fans, we go to these specific channels to get news and information from. I'm not really that much kept up on news, so I'm not really going to do that much. If I do have some news report, which I'm not really that interconnected into that aspect, so if there is ever any news that comes out about Dragon Ball, I'll be with you guys around, whenever you guys get it, I'll possibly be getting it. So I'm not like him, but when I watch Geekdom's channel, I usually watch it to get updates and news reports sometimes. And the fact that he was sitting on this for a year, it is kind of annoying, but I can see why he did it. But yeah, let's get into it. What he explained was the series might be coming back maybe in 2023. Some people said in October, maybe around there, because there's a couple of things that needs to be done. Now, for me personally, when the movie was announced and it was coming out, I already had a speculation through my head that, well, if once when this movie's fully done coming out worldwide, from all the way through Japan to the whole world, and then once when the movie is fully done showing in theaters and they're done and get all the total of money they collected from it, my assumption was then they're going to restart, try to prepare to restart and resume the series back up again. Because if you remember back when Dragon Ball Super was first getting introduced, it came back after the Resurrection of F movie. Toriyama specifically made Battle of Gods and Resurrection of F to make good enough amount of money off the franchise. Also to see how much people care about it, to give him enough of a reason to come back. And after Battle of Gods was successful and then Resurrection of F was even more successful, he thought it was best to bring it back. And ever since the series ended, we had some content. They did announce the Broly film, and that was one of the reasons why they stopped making the show and stuff, because they wanted to focus solely on the movie itself, the Broly movie. And I got that. I was like, okay, they want to spend their time on this, but then they didn't announce anything after the Broly movie, and the Broly movie did even more successful than even a Resurrection of F. Now, for me, in my mind, I was like, well, there's two movies that came out, then they brought the series back into the fold. So for me, my thought process on it was, well, they're probably waiting to do another movie, which they announced. And then when I saw that, I was like, okay, so they're waiting for it to be fully shown throughout the world and then have it end. Because once when it ends and they collect all the total and get the sum and see where it stands, then he will have more of a reason to come back. So I was already expecting him to bring back the series after, after what's the thing called? After the second movie, how it does. I feel like even if it does not bad, if it does poorly in the box office, the money draw, I still think he'll bring it back. But Geekdom revealed a couple of things to me that I didn't think about, and it was two things. He said that the Digimon, not Digimon. He said the what's the thing called? He said the Dragon Quest show, he said first they need the Dragon Quest show to end, then the Digimon show to end. And the reason they need those two specifically to end is because the Dragon Quest show has a lot of workers from, who worked on Dragon Ball Super, the art, the animation, all that stuff. A lot of them that were working on there moved over and worked on that because it's also, a Toei production and all that stuff. Also, if you know anything about Dragon Quest, you would know that Toriyama has designed characters for that series, and he's the designer for it. So he has some part in Dragon Quest too. So the members of his crew are working on that. So they have to wait until that's done and wrapped up so they can come off and give their full undivided attention to Dragon Ball itself. Then he said also Digimon, there's the anime, it needs to also end, which he said is going to end around October or something. And the reason that it needs to end is because it took up Dragon Ball Super's time slot, and with it out of the way now, Dragon Ball Super can slide back in that time slot without when Dragon Quest is done. Then all the people that were working on there can finally come back to Dragon Ball and give its full undivided attention. Now, for me, that did add a little more. So, like, okay, so we'll probably have to wait. If it does come out in 2023, that would be actually pretty amazing. Some people might be hoping that it comes out around this year, maybe late this year. Personally, I think that's a little too optimistic. I think it would be more plausible that it comes out next year, but hopefully it comes out early next year at least, you know? And I shat on this Dragon Ball Super a lot in the franchise and what it's become now, but I still do care about Dragon Ball. I mean, I literally have a Dragon Ball channel, and I still talk about it. If I didn't, care about Dragon Ball anymore, I wouldn't be making these videos. I wouldn't have made this channel. But yeah, like I said, I have a problem with Dragon Ball Super. That's never gonna change with me. I have a problem with the direction that a lot Dragon Ball goes into a lot of times. Though I do think some stuff that they do is kind of, I'm down with it. But majority of it, I don't agree with it. But that doesn't mean I don't want to see the series come back. I do want to see him come back because if it's gonna continue, you might as well just bring back the show. We don't know if it's gonna be a different name. Maybe it's still Dragon Ball Super. Maybe it's called Dragon Ball Super 2. Maybe it's just a different name in general. Who knows? But most likely it will be coming back, so I think a lot of people should be excited for that. But for me, my thought process on it was not only when is it going to come back, because I was like, thinking about that, but my thought process on it is the fact that there's something about it is the fact that it seems a little more complex than what it's going to be. And the reason I say this is think about the direction that Dragon Ball's gone since Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super ended. Once the Super ended, they did the Broly movie. I think Toyotaro around that time did a couple of promotional stuff, like how he did for Resurrection of F. But obviously, he didn't write a whole, story of that. So he skipped the Broly part, right? And then we went on to the Moro arc, and then now we're on the Granola arc. And it seems like the Granola arc is going to be, wrapping up soon. And Dragon Ball on the, anime side dropped out Dragon Ball Super Superheroes, which the manga is not there at all because the Dragon Ball Super Superheroes is in the future. It's I think around the end of Z where it was the 10-year time skip and have all the other people older, and the movie skips the Moro arc, it skips the Granola arc, and it goes directly ahead in the future. I don't know if it touches upon it because I haven't seen the film myself, but from what I've seen and what I've seen people talk about, it doesn't seem like they've really touched upon the Granola arc or that, because he wants to keep it separate. But to me, the reason why I feel like it's confusing doing that is the anime and the movie and the manga have gone completely different directions when it comes to handling it. And us as fans, if we want to watch the series, we want to see where they're going to go, the direction. So now I'm kind of thinking about it, I'm like, it seems kind of a little directionalist to me, or maybe it's a little more complex than what I think it's going to be, because the big question now I have is, where are they going to start from in the story, Like, where do they start from? Because we literally had we had the manga and the movie, and they have gone different directions. The first Broly movie, I don't think there was too much of a departure. It was just after, literally right after the Tournament of Power, and even though the manga didn't touch upon it, it didn't need to. It just, it kept that information in, but it didn't need to do it. And then we went to the Monarch. Perfectly fine. It's after Broly. Then we had go to Granola after Broly. But having Dragon Ball Super Superheroes being set in the end of Z, where it's the 10-year time skip, and we have the Moro arc, which is in between that 10-year time skip. Now it leaves us as audience to think, where's this going to start? Is it going to start with the after the movie, because that should be after 10 years? Then that means we're going to skip the Moro and Granola arc in the anime, which wouldn't really make much sense. So are they going to fit the Moro and Granola arc and then get to Dragon Ball Superhero and do it again in the anime? I think the process that might happen, which I personally would not really like, is they would go the route that they did for Dragon Ball Super when it first started, but in a little bit different direction. Because when it first started, they redid the Battle of Gods movie and the Resurrection of F movie and made it into arcs. Then they added 3 new stories, but those were right after one another, the events. Whereas this, it's kind of misplaced. And the way the anime's franchise, the anime like genre has gone now is kind of they've kind of followed the same mold. I don't know if they ripped off Dragon Ball, but they've been following the same mold. I mean, I saw you see this with Demon Slayer. They had the movie, and then they had the series come back, and they redid the movie again in the show. They did this with Boruto. You know, they had the Boruto movie with him and Naruto. And then Boruto series came out, and like 50, 60 episodes of Boruto alone was just redoing the movie, but just adding extra stuff in it. So it's like Dragon Ball, I think, was the first one I've seen do this, but there's other franchises that do it now in anime, and it seems like it's becoming more of a common thing, which I don't like because it's like, what's the point of making a movie if you're simply gonna redo it in the anime again, you know? I was fine with it when the first time when they did with Dragon Ball Super because I was like, okay, Battle God especially was, you know, it came out years before it, so it makes sense. You know, Resurrection of F, it was around the time that, you know, Super came back. But I was like, you know what? Those two movies, if they can improve it, it's fine. But now I'm just like, I don't want this, and it's going to be weird because this is the direction I see it most likely going and where it starts from. He'll probably start right after the Tournament of Power and redo the Broly movie again. So yeah, we might possibly re-see the Broly movie done again, but in the anime and just with less, you know, production value, which is going to look crappier, and it's just going to waste countless episodes just redoing the same thing that we watched. Then they're going to go into the Moro arc, do their own version, and the Granola arc, which that's what I want. But then they might go to the time skip thingy after those two arcs are done, and then redo this Dragon Ball Super superhero movie, and then maybe continue on the story. And if that is the direction that they're going with, yeah, it's not going to be really great. Let's be honest. I do not want to waste 10, 20 episodes rewatching the same movie that I could have watched within like an hour and a half, or maybe even 2 hours at most, which I don't think any of the Dragon Ball movies are 2 hours, but we can rewatch that if we want to get a recap. I do not want to watch the entire show, wait even every week for it, because then those are just throwaway episodes. That means that entire arc is an arc that we don't have to watch. We can just skip. Like, obviously we can watch, we want to see how they handled the Broly story and the anime, but Toriyama already had his hand dealt in it. So if they go that direction, I'm not going to like it. If they skip doing the Broly movie and just, you know, show a little minor recap, fine. But then they're gonna still have to somehow incorporate Dragon Ball Super superheroes because, like I said, it's in a different part. Because let's say they don't do the Broly over again, then they'll have to redo, you know, the Moro arc, then the Granola arc, then they have to do Dragon Ball Super superheroes because it's right after that, which would be, you know, once again the same thing. It'll be pointless. Like, wow, really? We're gonna redo this again? And like I said, if they do the Broly thing, that's going to be even weirder because it's going to be redo the movie, then we have the two arcs from the manga that was never seen in the anime, then we're going to redo another movie. Unlike the last time, those two movies were side by side, so it went from one arc to the other, and then it got the new stuff. We're going to go from something old, then some new stuff for the anime, and then back to the old stuff again. It's just like, why? So yeah, I don't like this direction that they went. I feel like Toei and Toriyama, the way they went with the whole simply, you know, how do I say, making the movie after those two arcs was a pretty stupid idea. I don't get the point of it because now it's like, how are they going to fit Dragon Ball Super superheroes? Because that is the biggest piece of this puzzle when it comes to the show coming back and what they're going to do with it, the direction they're going, and where they're going to start from. Because this movie, you can't put it in the beginning. It's in a time skip. So you have to put the Granola and Moro arc in. And if you skip those two arcs, then what the hell is the point? It's that, or let's say they skip all that stuff, skip the Broly movies, like not the Broly movie, the superhero movie, because we've seen that, and they go after that. But then that means that we didn't get to see the Moro arc and the Granola arc adapted in the anime and how they would handle it there. So it's just a really weird direction. I think it was going perfectly fine, the order, until Toriyama dropped out this movie, which was literally just a time skip. Now it's like, okay, we're forced to do this. So I felt like they should have held off on this movie for a bit, you know? Because now it's like, you did this for the movie, but now you screwed up the anime and the direction it can go. and it seems like the direction doesn't make any sense anymore, you know? So it gets a little confusing for us as an audience. Now I'm just wondering what direction they're going to go, and there's many possibilities that are not going to be very well liked by the fans. Of the fans complained about it last time, they're going to definitely complain about it now, and I just think it's stupid. I think the way they went was just dumb, because now it's like, well, we have to go back. You can't skip to the 10 years. You have to go between those 10 years because they did have stuff happening. Now it's like, what the hell are we going to do with it, you know? It's just confusing, to be honest, because now it's like, which side were we going to, start off from? I personally just don't like that idea that they did. I think Toriyama should have held off on the movie. I think the best thing they could have done is had the Broly movie come out, had the first Moro arc, and then the Granola arc come out, then brought back the series. After bringing back the series, you skip the Broly movie, don't redo that. Skip it, start from the Moro arc, do the Moro arc in anime, do the Granola arc, and then have the movie come out. You can have, maybe that might have been too much work, but I don't know. At this point, I think that they shouldn't have ended the story then. Because now because now if they're gonna bring back the series, which they are, where are we gonna go with it? There's too many things that's confusing. Because at least last time before, the ideas were simple. It was either they skip the movies and it's just like these people watched it and they do a little recap, then they add new stuff in, or they just redo the movies, which they did. And that was it. But this one's like, well, which side do we go on? Where do we go? We can start off with the Broly movie, then have those two arcs, then have that one redone, and then have other new arcs. Or we can skip the Broly movie, have those two arcs, then have that movie, then have new arcs. Or we can skip all those other ones and just go to the movie or after the movie. But then that skips the Moro and Granola arc, which we want to see. It's just a mess. I think the whole direction that they went with the time skip, with the going ahead with the movies, was kind of dumb. I don't think that was necessary. I think by Toriyama doing that, and ultimately it's his choice, by him doing that, he kind of made the series confusing. And no matter how we bring back the series that started, it's already in a bad position, because now the fans are going to have to either see the same thing or possibly miss some stuff that we wanted to see. So I don't really know what direction it's going to go in. Those are just some of the possibilities I have for where it might go. And personally, I'm not very happy of the way they handled it. I think the time skip and stuff and the direction is kind of confusing. And if you're a fan who doesn't know and worried, I can't blame you. You have every right to be worried because of the way they're doing things. And let's be honest, recently, ever since Dragon Ball came back itself, Toriyama has been kind of fumbling the ball a bit. So yeah, who knows what direction it'll go. Hopefully it goes correctly, and we don't have to rewatch anything that we already saw in the movie theaters. But I don't know. Right now, we most likely probably will. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for next time, and peace out.